and a moth-eaten piece of cloth. The boy had never met his father's parents and had never questioned their absence. The boy's mother had kept these clothes for nice, but there had never been a purpose for them, and they had stayed in his closet until the day she died. The boy was sad she never saw him so well dressed. As they put on their pajamas, the boy compared the two of them in the circular mirror that sat atop the dresser. He rubbed his hands over his face and imagined his father's visage etched into his own. What would it be like to have a beard? To have it growing from the neck?
"You did well today,"
his father said, drawing breath.
"Not hard shoveling dirt, though, is it?"
Earlier, at her graveside, the herd of mourners surrounding the hole in the earth that held her coffin, his father had kicked at a pile of nearby dirt and stepped back, arched his eyebrows at the boy. As everyone watched, the boy had begun to shovel. He'd not felt up to the task and had not been prepared, and his doubt had slowed his shoveling. The sound the dirt made as it struck the wood like drumming fingers on a tree. The sun glowed against the surface of her coffin until he had covered it in thick clods, and then it grew lifeless, dull, a feature of the landscape. None of the other men helped him at all, and in their stares and sorrow, the boy sensed an importance about this act he could not fathom. When he had finished, he dropped the shovel onto the nearby grass, the clanging sound like a slap to the ear. He looked to his father for forgiveness, wordless disapproval instead in the man's clenched fist, the way his mouth had creased. The boy felt he'd failed whatever test he'd been set. The father now finished buttoning his pajama shirt, tousled the boy's hair. The boy climbed into bed, and his father stood at the light switch and waited for the boy to settle beneath the blankets, burrowing in like a wombat, before he turned it off. Until the boy's eyes adjusted, he could only hear his father and not see him, an animal in the dark. The feather doona was too hot, so the boy kicked it off. The boy said, "I don't know what to feel." His father grunted, then,
"Feel sad. You should feel sad."
"I do," the boy said, "but it doesn't seem real." Another grunt.
"Go to sleep."
Silence for a time. The boy heard his father's breathing soften and steady, which suggested slumber, but he ventured another question. "Are we going home tomorrow?" A murmur of assent. "Why did Mum get buried here and not at home?"
"This is what she wanted,"
his father said, and shifted in bed.
"Go to sleep."
"Where will I be buried?"
"Be buried wherever you want."
"What about you? Will you be buried here?"
"I'm not a bloody Werner, mate," his father said. "Now go to sleep."
So even when all three of them were dead, the boy, the father, the mother, they still would not be together. His father in one cemetery and his mother in another, and the boy in the middle having to choose. His father's breathing drifted into a light snore. The boy was wide awake and wished his mother was there to sort out the mess in his head. What he tried to remember now, tucked up in bed, was how soft she'd been. His father, by contrast, was jagged. The boy had settled in himself that his mother would die and prepared himself for her absence, but he had never thought on what shape life might take for he and his father afterwards. Without her, it was only them. To fall asleep, the boy stared at his father in the shadows, his body moving with each snore. The boy did his best to take from this some comfort. In the early hours, the boy sobbed. He did his best to hide the noise he was making with a hand clasped tight over his mouth and his head buried in his pillow. Despite the boy's efforts, his father woke.
"You all right?"
A sniff. The boy couldn't answer. Another moment and his father added,
"You have to stop crying, mate, and get some sleep. Crying doesn't fix anything."
This upset the boy further.